Cleveland Cavalier fans, thank you for joining us for another episode of the That's Rather Cavalier podcast. As we have a Game 3 recap, the Cavs got smashed tonight. We don't have a lot to talk about, but we got a lot of things we can probably complain about. With me tonight, I got the two co-hosts of the That's Rather Cavalier podcast, the homie Big G from the Know It All podcast, and the homies on the Steel Curtain Network, also FFSN show. Big G, what's up, man?
Man, just trying to recover a little bit from this catastrophe that just happened in front of my face concerning the Cleveland Cavaliers and their loss this evening, man. It was rough to swallow and even harder to watch, but we'll get there, man. We'll get there.
It was hard to watch. We agree about that, definitely. And we got the homie BP and Pepper Pike. BP is also part of the Cleveland Browns Fanatical Elves podcast, right? That's right, Fanatical Elves.
Yeah, you got it.
On the Cleveland Browns channel, on also another FSSN show. BP, man, this game, man, could you bear watching it? Did you watch the whole game? When'd you know it wasn't going to go the Cavs' way?
Well, that second quarter, to me, I'm looking at the first quarter was 17-all. That was like a football game. And then, the game was ugly. The Cavs really didn't show up. The moment was too big for them. The only guy that really showed up was Donovan Mitchell and maybe Karis LeVert. But, they were fumbling, bumbling, stumbling. It was ugly. I've never seen, guys, balls go through their hands. It was like a Three Stooges show or something. It was ugly. I'm really disappointed in the team. I can't even drill down and blame JB or something like that. This was on the players.
Yeah.
They just had a complete meltdown in front of the whole country. So I'm pissed off as a Cavs fan, disappointed, and I don't know if these guys are ready for prime time, but after tonight, I don't know.
Well, yeah, they got to get game 2 if they're gonna make it a series again. The game 2 is right back there at MSG. It is not prime time, but it's a standalone game. It's the 1:00 game on Sunday back in MSG. Big G.
Yeah, what's going on, Tate?
After that first quarter, it was 17-17, and I knew it was going to be a struggle because both teams were struggling.
Correct.
In the first quarter.
Correct.
But New York got off first and started making shots. I think Darius Garland's inability to hit anything in the first half was one of the catalysts of that second quarter. So what'd you think about the second quarter, Big G? Like, because that like BP said, that's where the game got away.
Well, like you said, it was a 17-17 in first quarter. But the interesting fact was Darius Garland was 1 of 8 in that first quarter from the field, man. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with 3 basketballs and a water bottle, and a water hose. He couldn't hit, and the issue was, and BP, I sort of dig the take about saying that the moment was just too big. Neither team started off, tremendously hot or just coming out of the gates like firecrackers. But the issue was in the second quarter when the Knicks settled down and settled into the game, the Cavs still continued to struggle. And it wasn't like at that moment that Donovan Mitchell had made the determination or the decision that he was going to take the game over. He was still trying to get the other guys involved because he knew late coming down in the third or the fourth quarter, he was going to have to mash the gas. And it seemed like the only guy that even matched his energy a little bit wasn't even LeVert. It was more or less Mobley that matched it a little bit, not so much from scoring, but playing defense and trying to rebound. But the game got away totally because the Knicks started making shots where the Cavs didn't make shots. And that's why I seen the game stretch out in the second quarter.
The Knicks did start making shots, man. Darius Garland shot 19% for the game from the field.
Man.
19%.
Yeah.
But I felt like the Cavs just played sloppy. A lot of turnovers in the game. A lot of points off turnovers. So they play sloppy. I feel like it was too much ISO ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Karis LeVert got buckets, but it was it wasn't in the flow of the offense. The other night, they were pushing the pace. They were spreading the floor. They were just doing different things, and they're feeding off the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse fans' energy. And obviously tonight you going against that huge MSG crowd.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just played stagnant offense. The defense wasn't good. I can't remember the game. I saw one game earlier this season where they just gave up so many threes. And I feel like that's what they did tonight. You know what I mean? They gave up so many threes. But yeah, so what do you guys think Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks did to change the outcome of this game from game 2?
BP, I'll let you answer that first, man, because I got a little view about what Tib did versus what we could have done.
To be honest, I don't even think this came down to a coaching thing. This was all like, heart and want to, and I mean the Cavs just weren't ready for the moment. I mean I've never seen, they missed a ton of shots like you said, Garland was terrible. As good as he was, the other night, I think he was 4 for 21 tonight. So, and I was worried about that. I said he was elite in our last post-game wrap, but tonight he wasn't elite. And he got injured towards the end of the game. He came, luckily, the best part of the game was he came back on the court in the fourth quarter because you never know with these guys.
Right.
The best part of the game is he came back, that he's not hurt, that he doesn't have some kind of a, major knee problem or ankle problem, but I was very disappointed with the Cavs' performance. I don't even blame this on Thibodeau or JB Bickerstaff. The Cavs were terrible tonight. I mean, they couldn't even get this game within 6 or 8 points. Usually, the Cavs can get it down. They go on a run. They didn't have a run in them to get this down to a 6 or 8 point game, which in the NBA is almost unheard of because everybody lets you back in the game.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I agree with this point, in fact, too. The issue was the Knicks, it wasn't like they shot the lights out. They shot 30.3% from three-point line. They were 10 of 33 and 47% from the field goal range. But the Cavs shot 21.2% from 3, from 7 from 33, and 31 from 80 from the field with the field goal percentage. So it wasn't like you saying, it wasn't necessarily the fact that we were out-coached or out-manned. The issue is that in the NBA, you have to bring the energy in order to sustain and get a win. And tonight, that I think was the missing big element for the Cavs. Outside of the horrible shooting, there was no one that brought any energy outside of Darius Garland on the court for a consistent 4 quarters of play. And that's where we're experiencing some growing pains as far as the Cavs is concerned. This is grown-up basketball. We're not playing regular season games where it doesn't matter. These games matter, and every moment and every quarter counts. And I think they learned a valuable lesson tonight that moving forward, you have to out-energy your opponent because you guys are similar, because that's why you're a 4 seed and that's why you're a 5 seed. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, man. And I felt like, I'm looking at the box score now. I also felt like, I guess it's not a factor in the 20-point loss, but they missed too many free throws. Karis LeVert missed 2. Yeah. Jared Allen missed 2. Donovan Mitchell missed 1. Garland missed 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Jared Allen misses 2. Maybe. He still should hit at least 1. But Karis LeVert, Donovan Mitchell, and LeVert, they can't be Garland, they can't be missing free throws like that, man. The Knicks have 14 steals, but really, was it 14 steals? Or was it that the Cavs had 20 turnovers?
Yeah, more. Yeah, it was more like that. It was
the
more
Cavs
like
had 20 turnovers. The Knicks had 14 turnovers. So, and then
the
Knicks, the Cavs shot 37%. The Knicks shot 47%. So the Knicks did outshoot us in the regular field goals. Both teams were poor from the 3-point line, but the Knicks made the 2. Jalen Brunson got to guard this guy. We're making him look like we're making Jalen Brunson look like a top 20 player of all time. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
He's out there getting to his spots.
The Cavs are. You can't just say, well, Jetty Osman screwed up. He's getting by everybody. Anybody that's breathing on. He embarrassed Donovan Mitchell tonight. Donovan Mitchell towards the 3rd or 4th quarter said, "Let me have some. Let me talk my Jason," and Brunson So we put him, we put Donovan Mitchell, Garland had his chance with him, and Jetty Osman and LeVert. Basically, Brunson's roasting everybody on the Cavs. The Cavs should be blitzing Brunson more with a second. That's what they should be doing, coming in with a double team. But this one-on-one is not working.
I don't disagree. You're freezing up a little bit, BP, when you was giving your take right there. I think you do need to double Brunson, but it has to be a big double. I think Evan Mobley can come out and help. I like LeVert starting for his offense, but Okoro didn't play great defense. But Okoro now, if he's not starting, he got 6 fouls to come in and can get physical with Brunson. And I think that's what we need him to do. I could see again. I think we said the other day. I could see Lamar Stevens being a factor in this series. I think there's a role for him. He might not hit shots, but he's going to get in there and battle with Julius Randle and Mitchell. Mitchell Robinson probably had about 5 or 6 offensive boards tonight.
Yeah, and then second and third quarters where it was critical and crucial for sure. He had 5 or 6 offensive rebounds. But the big thing take two was, like I was talking about, the energy. Look at how R.J. Barrett played in Cleveland, and look at how R.J. Barrett played tonight in New York. Total difference in energy as far as bringing a professional basketball player, bringing it on the floor.
You know what he is, though, right? You know what R.J. Barrett is?
Yeah.
He's an other.
Yeah.
He's an other. The home crowd, the familiarity with home. I mean, he came. He was locked in, ready to go today.
Yeah, and that made all the difference in the world. All the difference in the world. BP, do you think that the energy definitely affected the game? I think he's froze a little bit. Okay, no, he's got it.
To be honest, I just think the Cavs weren't up to the challenge tonight. I think the crowd, the Cavs just didn't cut it. They kind of wilted under the pressure. I mean, this is pro sports, and they're paid big money, but unfortunately they didn't bring it tonight. Hopefully they'll bring it on Sunday. But maybe, this was just like they got smacked in the mouth Saturday night in game 1. They bounced back in game 2. They got smacked in the mouth tonight. Hopefully they'll bounce back in game 4. I'm not giving up for it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Tate, man.
Yeah.
So do you feel that, what do you think, I guess the question is for both of us, or all of us, what do you think the Cavs need to do to change this?
Well, let me say this. I seen a comment from B Dirt about if you're not scoring 100 points, you may as well not even play. I mean, the thing is, if you hold them under 100 points, you should win. The Cavs, before tonight, the Knicks, I wish the Knicks got 100 points. They got 99 points. The Cavs were 24-1 when they hold their opponents under 100 points.
Yes.
And there's been a total of 1,230 regular season games this year in the NBA, and not one team scored under 80 points until tonight.
Wow. 1231 and one team only gets under 80? Wow.
The Cavs were the first team this year to score at least 80.
Hey, Tate, BP, was they this tonight? Were they this tonight for the first time we saw it? Or was it just
what's the rating scale? For everybody listening to audio, Big G is holding up his tire fire sign, but I think I probably want him to hold up his dumpster fire sign.
Ooh, that's going all the way to the bottom, because
that's what they were tonight. You don't think that's what they were?
Dumpster fire is when you're consistent.
Tell me one good thing that happened for the Cavs tonight. One good thing that they did.
That's hard to say. That's hard to say.
When Garland came back on the court, that was about the only good news we got.
So the best thing they did was somebody coming back from an injury and not really being hurt as bad as what it could have been.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot identify one area where I can say, hey, Cleveland, you guys just need to tighten this up and tighten that up, and you're going to be better. That wasn't tonight. But the optimistic viewpoint of this is that normally in a playoff series, it's going to go back and forth. Once you get your A game out of the way, where you just lay a total egg and you're horrible, you got an opportunity to get the rest of it going. The issue is, which way are the Cavs going to go? Are they going to go, well, we fold and we're done, we're not going to fight, we're not going to scrap, we're not going to bring the energy to win? Or do they say, hey, it's time for us to go, let's go? And, you know, that's what I think is the big decision over the next 48 hours for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Which Cavs team is going to show up in MSG on Sunday? You know, that's just my thought.
So BP, what's your take on what you think the Cavs need to do to come in on Sunday and win Game 3?
I think what I mentioned before, you know, this is a young team, so this playoffs is a learning experience. I said before the playoffs started, I said it here on the Cleveland radio, I said it with you guys, the Cavs were going to taste adversity in this series.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people were like, what do you mean? You know, a lot of people that don't know basketball, that they thought the Cavs were going to blow through this series. I said, no, this is going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be a dogfight, and the Cavs are going to taste adversity. And that's what we're tasting right now is, you know, an ugly loss, 20-point loss. It could have been worse.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping the Cavs learn from this game tonight, bounce back on Sunday. You know, it's an early start. Maybe that'll help them somehow. Maybe they'll be partying in New York late Saturday night, hit a couple of clubs or something. I don't know. But what's funny is that you guys are talking about Mark Jackson back in the day and Patrick Ewing. I was in New York City once when I was at a club called Stringfellows, and Patrick Ewing was there with Mark Jackson. This is way back in the day. But it just shows you, you know, that's going back to the history of the Knicks. But I probably should.
Yeah, we both old enough to go back that far. We might be older than you think we are, BP.
Yeah, but just, you know, it's a fun memory from, you know, back in the day when people would go to clubs, you know, and it was a fun scene and all that kind of stuff.
I think people still do go to clubs. We just a little old for that. We probably don't go. I think they still there though.
I think so. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to Trent Tucker and Gerald Wilkins and all those tight shorts.
Fellas, I'll go back to Roy Sparrow and Bernard King.
Roy Sparrow, that's a good one.
You know, let's talk about Bernard King's brother, Albert King, Bill Cartwright. You know, let's go back to those days. Trent Tucker for sure.
It's funny you mentioned Bernard King. I think Bernard King was sitting in the front row at tonight's game.
Yes, he was.
He was there.
Latrell Sprewell was there. Allen Houston was there. I saw a bunch of old Knick players that was there.
That's funny because I was watching a game. I forgot what game I was. Oh, it was the championship. It was the UConn championship for college basketball. And they had all the UConn players were at the game, but CBS never showed any of those guys. And, you know, on Twitter, they had great pictures of like Ray Allen and, you know, all the great, you know, UConn alumni. But CBS never highlighted those great guys. They should have during their telecast because UConn's got great alumni, you know, basketball players. Again, I watched the local Cavs broadcast tonight, but they never showcased any of the Knicks, like the legends. They should do that, though. They should honor some of the legends during these broadcasts. Yeah, well, they showed them on the national broadcast. They showed Bernard King, Allen Houston, Sprewell was there. Yeah, they didn't do that. I watched the local, you know, Valley, Great Lakes, Ohio broadcast. Just I figure I'm only going to see them for a few more games this year. But before we get ready to wrap up and close out, I want to ask each of you on court. Now, we talked about energy. We talked about bringing the fight and all those things. But on court, what can the Cavs do to change the outcome of tonight's game for Sunday's 1:00 p.m. game? I think they have to go small. I think that they have to move Mobley to 5 and go small. But go small and big because they have bigger guards. And so I think if they go small and they lock in guards on the perimeter, that will give them a better opportunity to win. I think that Jared Allen hurts the Cavs' position because the Knicks don't have a formidable center. Robinson is all right, but he ain't out there doing big things. So I think that the Cavs go small and go fast, it'll change the complexity of the game. No, I don't know that that's his job to do big things. He's just there to play defense and get offensive boards and putbacks. That's what his job is. He's doing a good job. Yeah, for sure. What do you think, BP? I mean, I hate to disagree with my man Big G, but I have to disagree. because the Cavs are getting killed on the boards. They're getting killed on these loose balls, second chance points. I mean, Jared Allen helped them win game 2 the other night.
True.
Block shots. He was getting loose balls, tip-ins, dunks. And Mitchell Robinson's a huge guy. He makes Jared Allen look small. And then, Drew, and then Hartenstein's coming in and he's doing some damage. He's been effective.
Yes, he has.
I think the Cavs got to stay with what got them 51 wins during the season. They just got to shoot better. I mean, they got to show up for the game. The shooting was atrocious tonight. And, the offense, everything was bad. And it was just bad. It was, you have bad games. Hopefully they can bounce back, because if they go down 3-1, it'll be over.
Oh yeah, if they go down 3-1, it's a wrap.
Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully they bounce back, but they got to shoot a lot better. They got to execute better. I mean, I never saw so much fumbling the ball and stumbling, and it was like a freaking, it was horrible. It was a comedy of errors. I was embarrassed to be a fan of the Cavs. I mean, I thought it was terrible. It was really. I don't know how you guys felt, but I saw Mobley, LeVert, their balls were going right through their hands.
Missing layups.
Garland was throwing up a bunch of junk. I mean, he was like 0 for 6 or 7 to start the game. So.
Yeah.
Terrible.
He missed bunnies, straight bunnies, missing layups right at the rim.
And Danny Green to me I don't think he should be out there. Danny Green he's not athletic. He can't get down on the ground and get a loose ball. There was a couple of like scrums where he just didn't even come up with the ball. And I think that hurt the Cavs too. If maybe Osman was out there, or, I don't know, somebody that's a little bit more younger, somebody more athletic, Okoro. I just think Danny Green's minutes are a waste right now.
No, you disagree with Big G. I think I disagree there. I think Danny Green hasn't done anything yet. Hit a shot the other night, would have hit 2. He stepped out of bounds. I don't expect much from him, but he's a piece that knows the defensive system. They can be in the right place. And I feel more comfortable with him spotting up in the corner than I do Okoro and Osman. Not that he should get big minutes, but it's okay for him to come in and get 8 to 10 minutes, I think. I think the adjustments need to be made. Garland and Mitchell come out taking a lot of shots, as they should. They're going to carry the offense. But I think they need to come in and try and pound the Knicks down low. I think you come in, you try and get Allen going. I mean, the Cavs. The Cavs' staple is the alley-oop. I mean, Garland and Mobley are like both in the top 5, I believe. At one time they were like a month ago at the most in dunks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think we try and get Allen going. Do some drive and drop offs and get them guys going. Mobley's getting to a spot. He has to be more patient though. He's rushing. He's rushing, throw up a hook, throw up a quick little jumper. I mean, I don't know why he's rushing. He's at his best when he's illustrating the footwork that he has. His footwork is impeccable for a 7 foot, 21-year-old big man. You'll see when he gets offensive rebound, head pump, head fake, steps, pivots, and then gets a dunk. So I think we need to try and get the bigs going early, because Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland will get theirs ultimately over the course of the game. That's my take, and be more physical with Brunson. I'm not letting Brunson beat me. Julius Randle has to beat me.
Yeah.
And if RJ Barrett plays like he played tonight, I gotta live with it.
Yeah. Yeah. RJ's not going back to back the way he did, for sure. And I don't think, and like you said, the guy, Randall's going to implode. There's going to get to a point to where he's going to do something and throw the chemistry off of that team. So we just got to stay. And last little point, we got to stay close. When they make those 8-0 runs, 10-0 runs, we got to come back with at least a 6-0 or 7-0 run.
That's what
we can't let it get out of hand.
That's what happened in game 1 on Saturday.
Yeah.
The Cavs let them get up, and they were fighting back the whole game.
Yeah.
Got the lead late in the fourth quarter. Then I don't know if they got tuckered out. They were tired, but they gave up like 4 or 5 offensive boards in a row that just changed the course of that game.
Yeah.
But tonight we blew them out, and tonight they blew us out. So,
I got a point though. To be honest, this is why I was disappointed at the trade deadline when the Cavs didn't pick up anybody significant. I wanted them to pick up Kelly Oubre Jr. or even like Doug McDermott, just somebody, to help the team. and they didn't improve the team at all. So it's some of this is on the Cavs too, where they look at the Knicks. They brought in Josh Hart. Look at what the Lakers did at the trade. They brought in 4 guys.
A whole
you know
new
what I mean?
team. Yeah.
Right. Believe me, if they bring all these guys like Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell, they'd be sitting at home right now.
Yeah.
I think
some of this is on the Cavs.
I agree with you. I think Kobe Altman though. I think he wanted to see what they had this year. I mean, because last year Jared Allen was hurt when we went to the play-in game. I don't believe they didn't have Donovan Mitchell.
Nope.
Darius Garland wasn't 100% at that time, and if he was tired because he was a one-man offensive show. He had to run everything from far as the distributing and ball handling perspective. Mm-hmm. I think they just want to see what they had this year. Mm-hmm. I think this offseason they'll make moves. I think no reason to hold on to Dylan Windler. Chetty could be a piece that could be gone. I like Chetty, but if you can get somebody better than Chetty with more consistent shooter and a 3-and-D player, then
that's
you
why
go
I mentioned
for it.
Doug McDermott. Doug McDermott is a 42% career 3-point shooter, and he's younger than Danny Green. So, a guy like that really could have helped off the bench where, whatever, he's a solid. Kelly Oubre Jr., could have been had at the trade deadline. The Cavs didn't pull it. I would love to have had him, starting.
I like Kelly Oubre Jr.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys before we get out of here, a potential, just I was just worked up in my head. Trade for the Cavs this offseason. If the Cavs this year can't make a trade of any draft pick because the Pacers have their first round draft pick. Mm-hmm. But they can trade again in 2024. Mm-hmm. So my question is, if you could trade Jared Allen, Isaac Okoro, and the number 1 pick for Mikal Bridges to the Brooklyn Nets, would you do that?
No. Not for Mikal Bridges. No. They'd have to give me Mikal Bridges and the guy that plays center for Brooklyn. What's the Claxton? They'd have to give me Claxton and Bridges and probably somebody else.
For Jared Allen and Okoro?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'd have to be honest. And the reason why is it doesn't balance out. You're losing all your big, you're losing some of your big and your defense 3-and-D guy to get a score. And I don't know if that balances out.
I think Evan Mobley at some point is going to pass Jared Allen as far as being the center of the future. Mm-hmm. It might happen as soon as next year. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
To be honest, my opinion, Evan Mobley's really slight. I wouldn't. He'll get torched and beat up as the center. I mean, he'll just get bullied by Embiid and Jokic and all the big guys.
Jared Allen don't stop none of them guys.
What's that?
Jared Allen doesn't stop any of those guys.
He slows them down a little bit. Jared Allen was an all-star.
He has his way with most everybody, but with Jared Allen also.
But also remember the Brooklyn Nets, they look at Mikal Bridges as the replacement for Kevin Durant.
Correct.
He's like a poor man's Durant. There's no way they're going to give him up for Jared Allen. And
they probably wouldn't. That was just hypothetical. I wouldn't know. I think Mikal Bridges is the kind of piece that unlocks the rest of the team. A true 3-and-D guy. He's top 10 defender in the league. Yeah. He hits probably 40% from 3. Yeah. Since with the Brooklyn, he's averaging 26 a game. No, Brooklyn probably wouldn't do it. It was just hypothetical and theoretically that would be the kind of guy that we need.
Well, every year there's always a couple of teams that break their franchises up as the season goes through. You just saw the Toronto Raptors fire their head coach. Nick Nurse is gone. So I look for the Toronto Raptors to be tire fire selling for cheap. So there might be one or two players outside of Scotty Barnes that's available in Toronto. And I look for the New Orleans Pelicans to break it up as well. I don't think the Pelicans is going to stand put based on that franchise.
The players you want from those teams, probably OG Anunoby from Toronto. Probably
Pascal Siakam. If we could get Pascal Siakam.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You can't. Who you want off New Orleans because the money's not going to work.
Well, Pascal
you paying
Siakam's
Garland, you paying Mitchell,
right?
Jared Allen making $20 million a year. Mobley coming up. They're gonna pay Mobley.
I would trade Jared Allen. I would trade Jared Allen and a player for a swip for Pascal Siakam. I would do
but
that.
I mean, it sounds good on paper, but Toronto, these guys aren't just going to hand over all-stars for, you know what I mean, Jared Allen. I mean, Pascal Siakam was an all-star.
Yeah.
Well, at one time before he signed with Cleveland, Toronto did have interest in Jared Allen, though. But yeah, probably not a trade for Pascal Siakam. But hey, guys, so we're gonna get out of here, man. Any parting shots before we go, Big G?
No, not tonight. I'm hoping that the Cavs get a good night rest. I'm hoping they get a good night's sleep. And even more than anything, I hope that when they show up at MSG at 1:00 p.m. on Sunday, that they show up with their heart and ready to play some basketball.
Okay, what you got, BP?
I like what Big G said there. I mean, I hope the Cavs, got some, cojones, and they show up ready to fight. Because tonight they didn't put up a good fight at all, and they didn't do us proud. So, hopefully the guys are ready to go and, Sunday at 1:00. But they got to shoot a lot better. That's the bottom line, is shooting and playing smarter. So hopefully they show up and ready to go Sunday and even up this series at 2-2.
For sure.
Okay, and I just want to tell everybody, thanks for listening to the That's Rather Cavalier podcast on the FSN network, sports network of podcasts, family network of podcasts. I'm sorry, and you can check us out live audio. Well, like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, like us on TikTok, and you can find the audio broadcast of all our podcasts on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts. So be sure to just subscribe, unsubscribe, or download and undownload and download again, and follow. Please follow. And you want to watch this on YouTube? This is on the Know It All's YouTube channel. That's Rather the Cavalier podcast. But until next time. For Big G, for BP and Pepper Pike, we out. Peace.